eyes take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine. Take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine now. I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line them up. It's fine with us. Go and line them up. 4, 5, fine with us. Fine with us. Line up. I said go and line up. It's fine with us. I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us.
Well, who'd have thought it's the penultimate day already of the GALICIA 52 Super Series Royal Cup. We've had 6 good races so far, pretty much bang on cue every day, and the forecast today, slightly less wind, but we should go for another 2 good races pretty much on time. At the top of the table, it's American Magic Quantum Racing, proving yesterday that they do make a little bit of mistakes here and there, but they did recover nicely. Meantime, Platoon Aviation are on the up very definitely, had a terrible regatta in Saint-Tropez. They have Marcus Wieser steering the boat, and he gives us some insights into life on board, a team which were under pressure, but as I say, definitely on the up. So Marcus, starting off, how are you enjoying it?
I mean, it's great to come back to the Super Series. It's great to sail a 52, and last time I was driving was container in 2011, and 2 years ago the old Platoon for half a day. But it's a great boat to sail. I think it's the best one-design boat, big boat you can sail. So I love it, I must say.
Does the boat feel different to the old container?
Yes, very different. I mean, the old container was 4 generations before, and but this boat, which we have now, is not easy to drive. So you have to be fully on, fully concentrated, and it's harder as lighter the breeze becomes. Harder to drive. So you can't look around at all. You have to be full on, and it's a hard work.
Do you like that?
No, for sure not. I mean, it would be easier to have a easier boat to sail. It would be much more enjoyable, but that's what it is now. And every day we think about how we can make this boat faster. But it's hard. It's hard.
Do you feel the boat's fast enough?
Yeah, I mean, above 10 knots, I think we are okay. If the breeze is stronger, like on the first training days, we were fine. We have a good boat handling. I think I drive the boat already reasonably good. I needed a few practice days, of course, and it was always, my plan was always to use this week to get into the boat and then be ready for Cascais. But Harm has high expectations, and the crew as well, so there's nothing we can, no minute to relax.
Are they kind to you?
Yeah, I know them from this 150 and from the Momo times with the 72. I know all of them, and I sailed with nearly all of them. Yes, they have to be kind. I said no shouting on board.
And there has been no shouting?
There was no shouting yet, no.
Tell us about how you like Bayona. You were here, what was it, 2009 or something? You won the.
It was much earlier. I was here in Bayona. We also said in the Paradores. It was 94 and 98, and it was when we did the Spanish Match Race Championship. So we won in both years. So I have good memories here, and I love Galicia. It's a super cool area, and especially in summer when it's too hot in Mallorca, I think it would be nice to live here, to stay here.
Would you like to do more in the 52s?
Yes, of course I would like to do more, but my time is also limited. I cannot sail too much, and I do not want to sail too much. So we're building a 6 meter with Dieter Schön. I'm sailing Galatea with Murray, Jones and Kelvin Harrop. I do 150. It's already 100 days, and it's already enough, but 52 is still the boat you want to go racing when you're a professional, of course.
How do you feel about the Worlds from where you are just now? You feel you could win?
I mean, you should not go to the Worlds if you think you can't win. So I think we can win if everything works well and if we sail well, if I start the boat well, if I drive the boat well. The crew is great. I think it's a really great crew we have, and Harm is very optimistic, and he will come for a couple of days to look
Crack the whip
outside, to pressure it up. But yes, I think we are able to do very well.
And how do you like Cascais as a venue?
I mean, Cascais is great, but if the weather is shit, it can be also a crap event. Yeah, I mean, normally you have the nice breeze and with 20-25 knots. And I remember that was my first event in Cascais when I was driving container in 2011. It was windier and windier going further up to the upwind mark, and how the fuck we can sail downwind with this boat, and at the end it worked out. I look forward. I love the strong breeze. I love to sail in strong wind. It's fun. And Cascais is a great place too. It's a great place. A venue is nice food and scenic area. It's cool. Cool locations.
Tell us a little bit more about the chemistry with Vasco. We were talking about it briefly yesterday, but how's it evolving and how did it start?
When Harm asked me, he asked me already last autumn if I could do the Worlds, and because he was not. He had not much time, and when it came up now a couple of weeks ago that I should drive Bayona the Worlds and probably Portals, I said, oh, how can I get along with Vasco, because we never sailed together on one boat. We always were fighting on different boats each other, but he's a super cool team player. He's super relaxed, at least with me. He does a great job on the boat. He's motivating the crew. It's fun to sail with Vasco. He has good eyes. He's a very sensitive person, sensitive sailor, not always super structured, which is great, I think. And he's using his feeling a lot, and that's what I like, what I love. So it's quite close to me, similar to my style of sailing, but I must say I'm probably even calmer than he is. That's quite simple, I guess.
Of course not. Meantime, you've got your fan base at home.
Yeah. I have my fan base at home. My wife is watching every day with the grandchildren. So I have 4 daughters and 7 grandchildren already. So even the little shitter yesterday was watching the racing and not drinking his milk bottle. So they are into it. Because they joined me on containers. They were joining me for some events. And Vanessa, my little daughter, she wants to come to Cascais now because she said it's so cool to see you sailing on the 52 again. I want to be closer and would like to sail a day as a guest on the boat just to get back to this 52 feeling. So they're all into it. Fantastic. It's great.
The French team Paprec did well in Saint-Tropez. They were on the podium going into the last day, but faltered slightly. Meantime, they're on the podium here at this regatta. They're also 3rd overall for the circuit at this point. So we caught up with Stephane Neve, who's the project director and the main sheet trimmer. So, Stephane, things are going pretty well with the Paprec team. You're on the podium for the regatta at the moment with 2 days to go, and you're also on the podium for the circuit at this point. What are you doing right? What's changed?
I think the team is getting together. We have all improved our level with the Loic being in the team now. So we have been working pretty hard on the boat, and we try to keep focus on what we have to do, and that's the big difference with the past is that when we have a bad result, we try to work on it and we keep concentrate on the race, and we have seen that we are able to get some to improve our position and to be focused on the race. That's a big difference with the past.
In terms of resources, you have more resources, or it's still the same in terms of what you have in terms of money and support?
No, we have more new sails this year. That's the big difference. On the resources, it's about the same because we still have the same number of shore crew and the same number of people in the team. So it's not more people this year than it used to be in the past, but we try to use the people in the better way, and that's what the improvement come from.
And in essence, the boat is going quicker?
Yeah, the boat is going quicker, and it's because I think we have learned how to use it. We find the good tuning and that was not the case. And also we are able to change our mode, which we were not able to do in the past. I mean, we can see that when the wind is changing or the sea conditions are changing, we change the tuning on the boat quicker, so that's how we improve our speed.
How does it feel to be third at this stage? I mean, there's more pressure to stay there.
It's terrible for us. We try not to drink too much wine in the evening and try to be focused on the race. Yesterday was quite a hard day for us. We could not find the target. We were slow. We had some technical issue on the boat also, so we lost our backward pedestal. So that was quite hard for us. We could not use the dropping line and things like that. So, but we tried to be focused. We were 8, 9, and then we managed to get back to the 6th place on the first race yesterday. So we see that we have the capability to stay focused on the race and to just don't stop because we are in the back of the fleet.
Yesterday the weather was very reminiscent of home.
Yeah, but the temperature is still higher than in Brittany. But okay, but it was better than in Scotland at least.
Do you feel kind of at home in that respect here?
I mean, we love the place here. It's great. I mean, the club is fantastic. We really like this venue. I mean, Bayona is fantastic for us.
And for the detail on today's weather, we asked Francesco Mongelli from Allegre. So how's our weather looking today compared to yesterday?
In the end, it's going to be pretty similar probably. I hope we're going to see a little less rain than yesterday, but it's not given. It could be very, very similar to yesterday. A little less, possibly.
Wind speed and direction?
Yeah, very similar. It's passing through the South Channel. I mean, 200, it could be a little more left at the beginning and lighter, but it's very, very similar again.
Do you learn more about the race course every day?
Obviously, it's not easy because there is a component of the current which is not easy to predict. It's in the map, but sometimes it's different, and it's a learning. Yeah, always for everyone.
How much current is there?
Not much. It could be 0. It could be half of a knot. Sometimes it's a little more when we get closer to the shore, the islands, but not like in the Solent.
Two really good races, good breezes up to 18 knots. Let's catch up with the highlights from yesterday. Really beautiful morning here in Galicia. Sun's out. We've got a great forecast for the day. We're on schedule and we should stay on schedule. We should get 2 good races away today. At the moment, it's American Magic Quantum Racing at the top of the table. Can anyone catch them? So much more breeze than yesterday, 16 to 18 knots on the start line. Wind axis 205 degrees. Great racing in Prospect, Paprec, American Magic and Platoon Aviation all very even off the start line. Actually, Paprec get the early lead but get out too far to the right. American Magic and Platoon Aviation stay to the left. Sled also gaining on the left. So round the top markets, American Magic, Platoon Aviation and Sled with the Allegre in 4th. So through the finish line, our 2nd win in a row for American Magic Quantum Racing. Platoon Aviation get through in 2nd, 3rd are Sled and 4th. A good recovery from 8th place at the top mark for Phoenix. Platoon Aviation, though, their best result of the season so far with that 2nd. Are they a growing threat to American Magic? The wind axis is 200 for race number 6. The breeze is still at 16 to 18 knots. And off the start line, with the big news is American Magic are over the start line, just pulled over very slightly early by Alcedo. That means Teasing Machine get away to the best start up the first leg. Round the top mark, it's Teasing Machine from Allegre, Prevezza 3rd, Platoon Aviation in 4th. Platoon Aviation make a nice gain down the first run, their 3rd round through the leeward gate. Then it's really on the final run. Well, Teasing Machine are leading, just don't quite do the perfect jibe. They let Platoon Aviation out to the left and through the finish line. It's a win for Platoon Aviation, their 1st of the season. Teasing Machine gets 2nd, Prevezza 3rd and Damage Limitation for American Magic, who come through in 4th. And the Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup standings after 6 races. American Magic Quantum Racing leading on 14 points. Platoon Aviation now up to 2nd on 30 points. And Paprec, the French team, holding on to 3rd with 33 points. Well, there we go, our first live images from the waters off Bayona. We're joining Louise Vancer, I hope, on the water, waiting for the start of race number 7. We have 4 races to go, 2 today and 2 deciding races tomorrow, Saturday, to find out who's going to win the Royal Cup, this prestigious trophy, a standalone trophy which is really sought after by this 52 Super Series fleet. Louise, looking a little bit grey, slightly lighter breeze than yesterday, but everything to play for.
Andy, I'm out here on the water and guess what? It's raining again. Great. Not as heavy as yesterday, so we have good visibility at least. But yes, enjoy your warm office. It's very, very cold out here. I'm wearing all my clothes I have. And interesting enough, when we went out there was a little bit less wind, but now the rain brought more wind, so we saw some last minute sail changes here from a lot of crews. And yeah, I think this will be an interesting day again, similar to yesterday, but less breeze, as we've also heard in the forecast before. And in general, I see a lot more rain clouds on the right side than on the left side. Yesterday, I think the left side was working quite well, but I personally believe today the right side might work as well, Andy, because I see all these clouds, you know, like we don't like rain, but if the rain brings wind, we definitely like it.
Yeah, just looking at that image we're seeing live, yeah, I would tend to maybe agree with you on that point, but not allowed to, so I'm going to go with the left, and we'll see how that plays out. But interesting, yesterday we saw American Magic over the start line in that second race, but Platoon Aviation very, very much have the momentum back with them with a second and a first yesterday. They're in good form, and their morale is really sky high now.
I thought yesterday was such an interesting day, the catch-up from American Magic, but also Platoon was going well, and all the other teams as well. We saw some super interesting fights, and I expect similar things today. I think the boats will be very close again today, so the bearing of the upwind mark is 205 and 1.8 nautical miles. Yesterday we had 2 nautical miles, so kind of a little bit shorter, but still a long course. It was fascinating to see all the boats arriving yesterday at the same time at the upwind mark, Andy.
Yes, Louise, how do we think the start line looks? It looks pretty even. Maria's done a great job so far with the line. How do you think this first beat will go? Where would you like to start on the line?
Andy, I measured the line, I did my homework. I saw a small bias on the race committee. So just that. Probably 5 degrees, so might be a mistake on my side. I think, to be honest, I see a lot of boats already lining up here, so they try to find their position. I think most of them will still try to start more towards the right to then have an option to tack, because there was sometimes an issue yesterday for the boats who didn't have a clear lane to the left. They had to tack out and then duck some boats. So probably quite even spread, but if it would be me, I would start to more towards the right side, Andy.
Indeed, we're watching principally, I guess, Sled is furthest to the left of the main group. Just to clarify, it's Murray Jones who was steering yesterday, I think again today, not Adam Bichel, as we perhaps said during our live. So, but that's a fairly well-established setup, the setup that won the 2021 title for the world title and also the circuit title. So they're setting up towards the leeward end of the group. Phoenix just to windward of them. Coming in from just behind is Alcedo. Paprec have been starting well, Louise, haven't they?
Absolutely, and I have a kind of flashback to the first race of yesterday. We see Sled here, first boat at the pin end basically. American Magic again more towards the middle, and Paprec also similar like yesterday in the first race. They were great first half of the upwind, and then they kind of missed a little bit the wind pressure coming in from the left. They tacked slightly too early, but now all the boats are lined up at the starting line. And let's see, Andy, yesterday the left worked well for the first race, so let's see how bow number 5 Sled will do this race.
Interesting just to watch how our privettes are set up. They've got a big gap to leeward, but at the same time to windward they have American Magic, So what do? Do they try to pin American Magic a little bit, which I think they are trying to do, just keeping the bow up and just squeezing them very slightly, pull the pin just now with 11 seconds to go. And bow number 9 then, Pravetsa going forward. At this pin end of the line will maximum speed for sled. They start nicely. And Phoenix, well, Phoenix are over the line. I thought that just as soon as they started, this little hitch to windward and then pulled the pin a little bit too early, so having to restart. Costly error for Phoenix just at the point where they really needed to be popping good scores on the doors. Nice start, I would say. Once again, though, good start from Alcedo. They've shown very capable of starting well. So too Paprec to windward, and I see actually, just as I said earlier on, Pravetsa bow forward and squeezing American Magic. American Magic very much kind of second row at the moment, Louise. I don't know whether you can see that.
I'm just seeing leeward of sled, so for now I can't see American Magic. I think they're a little bit covered. I think you said exactly right. Pravetsa really tried to put a bit of pressure there on them at the start. But great start as well by Alcedo. Just as you mentioned it as well. And this morning when I spoke with Antje, the girl on Alcedo on the Italian boat, she told me that they want to focus more on their time to distance for the start. They weren't that happy yesterday with their starts, and I think they absolutely nailed it today, spot on start. And now I can see American Magic, Andy, they fall out actually. They have to tack out now, going to the right side. I don't think this was really the start they wanted to have.
Indeed not, but I think some of it was certainly influenced by John Cutler and Hamish Pepper on the Pravetsa. Just squeezed them, they were bow forward and managed to close the door very slightly on American Magic. Meantime, looks like a fairly solid start from bow number 2, Platoon Aviation. They have a clear lane, certainly to weather. They're bow forward, in fact, well clear of Allegri. So looking good just now for Platoon Aviation on board with them just now, Louise.
I definitely like the position of Platoon Aviation there. They can sail, they go completely controlling the rest of the group to their left. They can continue as much as they want, they can sail the mode they want, and they should be fast in these conditions. I've heard that as soon the boat gets some heel and all the boats are heeled and tip over it, they feel comfortable in their speed. So for now I think they look in a super strong position there. Would be very happy if I would be Vasco or Marcus now, just focusing on speed and going fast.
Indeed, as you say, they've got the majority of the fleet to leeward of them. American Magic forced out to the right. We do feel the gains might be to the right. In the meantime, quick catch up with bow number 5, Sled. What do you think about Sled? You're obviously right beside them. They're a little bit pinned relative to Alcedo to windward.
I'm quite surprised now in the shot we have here, like you can see that they can't really match the mode and the speed and the height of the boat just windward of them. I wonder, I think this might be something with like the wind. It's so grey on the water and in the air, so I can't really see wind differences on the water. But it feels like that they really didn't get the pressure the other boats got. So that's very disappointing for the team now, unfortunately. There's not really something you can do about when you're in that position, then tacking out or pray.
Oh, pray indeed. But in the meantime, it seems like our tracker does seem to favour the left at the moment. Alcedo, Paprec and Sled 1, 2 and 3. On the race leaderboard, we're in race number 7 of the Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup. And American Magic chipping away there. We have them in 9th just now. Remember that recovery they made yesterday? They really, you can never ever write them off. the Platoon Aviation really need to have boats between them and American Magic as much as possible. But they have just tacked away from the group, from the boats to leeward. So what do you see as Platoon Aviation's options? As you said, they had control of the group to leeward, but they don't want to go pursuing American Magic just for the sake of it.
I think it's interesting that they tagged. They were so much in control of the left side, so maybe there was a shift, or maybe they just saw Teasing Machine actually there on the right side going quite well. I'm not sure, from my perspective, if they can cross Teasing Machine or not, because it seems when I look on the tracking and I put the long tail, Andy, that Teasing Machine actually has a right shift there, so they might be looking out for that.
Indeed, that's what American Magic are certainly heading for. But then again, maybe Teasing Machine and American Magic heard your commentary before the start, suggesting the right was strong, and they're all following your advice. But in fact, certainly just now at the moment, Platoon Aviation, I think, just putting it in the bank, and they will keep a few boats between them and American Magic. Platoon Aviation then crossing Teasing Machine there. But shaping up to be another excellent race. Had a few comments from yesterday just saying how close and exciting the racing was.
And it's actually raining quite a lot now, and there's coming even more rain from offshore, so will be interesting. I think it's a little bit too early to say who will be in front or not, as also now bow number 05 here, Sled, starts to put the bow up and slowly starts to lift here on the left side, and if there is a gain from the left, then we will see it towards the end and not in the beginning, so this will definitely stay exciting until the upward mark, Andy.
Indeed, just quite like the position of Alcedo just now. Alpha Plus are way out, or furthest out to the right side. They need a little fill up, a little boost. Could do with a top 3, top 4 result. They're lying in 11th in the regatta, albeit just a few points behind Teasing Machine and Vayu. Phoenix not so far out of reach at 5 points ahead in 8th.
We have seen that Alpha Plus is a fast boat. They showed this over the event already. They were always there with their speed, so if they're now in the front group, they can also actually bring this home, I think, Andy.
I think so. They've shown that they can do that. They're also very confident to back themselves from time to time. Obviously, hugely talented team. Lots of great sailors on board. Tom Burton has grown into this circuit. Just watching the, as you say, Louise, the tails on the tracker really tell the story, but it does seem fairly even. Maybe Alpha Plus starting to get a little knock, a little header. Anyway, at the moment, Platoon Aviation can do no more than lead this race. But in general terms, Louise, American Magic's speed is very, very impressive across the whole wind range, isn't it?
Absolutely, Andy. I think they're the biggest threat of the fleet. They're fast in almost all conditions, start well, and even if they don't start well, they still manage to catch up, as we've seen yesterday. So I think a lot of boats start to think, well, how we can beat this team.
Indeed. The rain looks quite unpleasant from our perspective here on land, but I'm sure your Code Zero equipment is keeping you warm and dry.
Definitely keeps me dry, but yes, it's unpleasant out here. The visibility also starts to go really down again, and my hands are quite cold, but that's life, right? That's what we're here for. At least we have wind, and it just makes it more wild, Andy. So we're exposed to the nature. We like that. And actually, when the visibility is so bad, it's quite fun to sail in it, because you're kind of guessing. You can't really see the pressure coming. It's just there all of the sudden, and then you have to quickly adjust the sails and the steering. And when I spoke this morning with Nick Asher and Will Ryan from Allegro, I asked them a little bit, so how do you do your strategy? Like, how do you want to understand where the wind comes first? And they're like, well, we can't even see the upwind mark. So you really try to orientate yourself more on the other boats, and you heavily rely on the navigators who have everything on their iPads and who can help the afterguard. They're guiding them over the race course.
Indeed, looking how they're doing at the moment. The value then well back out in this left side. Unfortunately, Platoon Aviation, American Magic, we see up to second. Wonder whether Platoon Aviation can hold on there, but of course so much experience on board American Magic as well. But once again, it's interesting to note the kind of clothing choices, as it were, Louise, and through the different teams. Once again, Sean Clarkson there at the back of the American Magic, still toughing it out in the shorts and t-shirt. I think he's got a thermal layer on underneath his shirt, but he's really one of the pivotal, most experienced sailors on board American Magic. Done 8 America's Cups. It's him, the powerhouse grinder as well. So interesting, maybe we're seeing a little shift out in that left side perhaps. Some gains. You're on that left side just now, Louise, or are you heading up to windward mark?
Exactly, Andy. I'm just here on top of sled, slowly making my way up to the windward mark. And yeah, as we said, like if there is a gain from the left, we will see it towards the end. But for now, I see Provetzer ducking behind Platoon, but that means that they came really, really close. So maybe Paprick or the Italian boat Alcedo can actually undertake Platoon. But I'm not sure yet if Platoon Aviation is on ley line, so that would be a super high risk if they would actually undertake Platoon Aviation. I would probably further extend, go a little bit further out. Oh here, look Andy, Paprick is actually crossing in front of Platoon Aviation, so the upward mark approach from the left side worked again.
It is, and Murray Jones and Francesco Bruni and co on the sled seem to have read this one right. Invested in the left for the gain in the top third of the upwind. Also Alcedo, Vitamina and Paprec. So let's see where Platoon Aviation are coming round this top mark. sled coming in on port. Platoon Aviation tacking back on port. And sled, I think, will just be able to get round in first. So, and in the end, the boats to weather, to windward, actually quite comfortable coming in.
And you also see Alpha Plus coming in hot here. They really need to position themselves well now.
Yeah, whether there'll be an option to tack inside the parade of boats coming in from the starboard tackle line. Looking like they might just get inside Paprec and ahead of Platoon Aviation. Anyway, first round, our sled came off the pin, went up the left. Second, our Alcedo. Third, Alpha Plus. Third, Paprec. Platoon Aviation looked to be leading up that leg, but in the end get round in fifth. Sixth, our Pravetsa. And American Magic side by side overlap going round. Phoenix in 11th, having been over the start line. Very little in at the gun, but having to play catch up now. But sled moving slightly away from Alcedo Vitamina. A really good upwind from Paprec there, Louise.
Definitely, Andy. Great upwind there from the three boats extending furthest to the left side. They really had to be patient because for a while it looked super good for American Magic and Platoon Aviation from the right side, but then in the end it paid off again. And unfortunately, Teasing Machine now needs to do a penalty. They had the semi-parfait mark rounding. They touched the mark and now semi-parfait, unfortunately, and now they need to do a penalty for that. That really puts them back now in the fleet, but gave Phoenix the chance to overtake a boat after being over early there for the start. And now the visibility is really down again. We've seen yesterday that an early jibe was actually quite good. So Platoon Aviation jibed out early again. Let's see if they will make the gains they did yesterday as well. For now, the day looks quite similar to what we had yesterday, Andy.
So that would be our projected results. If positions stay the same, it would be a very small gain to Platoon Aviation. Going on the water before this race with a 16-point deficit behind American Magic. But anything could change on this leg. Watching how Platoon Aviation have gone down to the left, American Magic on the right. Louise, your thoughts on this run? Platoon Aviation backing themselves going down to the left.
Oh, Andy, good question. I'm now just here on top of sled and Alcedo, and there is pressure on my side. But as I said, the visibility is so bad that it's so hard to see beforehand where the pressure will be coming down and where there is more pressure. So I think it's a bit of a guess. And also, you really want to make sure that once you are in pressure, you have to stay in pressure. And talking about pressure coming here, down next to Alcedo. Now also the other boats at the other side started to accelerate again. But at the moment I see Platoon Aviation not coming back good there on their starboard jibe. They jibe again and trying to come back, and for me it looked like that they unfortunately lost a little bit there for now, Andy.
Yeah, we saw that. We just the speeds flashed up momentarily. Our boats on this right side doing high 12s, early 13s, and Platoon Aviation were doing something around about 9, but that was only momentary. But at the moment they do seem to have lost Pravetsa on this run. Alcedo just on board with them momentarily. Sled sailing beautifully at the moment, just picking up the breeze. We can see some acceleration. For the white boat, they're quickest on the waters. Look at the speeds just now, 14.5 knots. The American Magic potentially through sled, so that looks like it might have been an expensive jibe for Platoon Aviation.
And yeah, I agree, for now it looks like this, but it's so up and down with the pressure here. It's really interesting. But teasing machine in the back of the fleet for now has the most pressure actually. They full on extend here, and there's a little bit more wind, so let's see, maybe the boats like American Magic as well who jibe out again to the right side. If you look downwind, they might make some gains here because there's a bit more pressure, but it's very, very much up and down, Andy.
As we can just see in the background of our shot, the white and red kite of Phoenix. Phoenix seemed to be going pretty quickly. A surge of wind as well for Paprec. The French team lying in third, a little bit quicker than Alcedo just now. But actually a little gap between Paprec and Pravetsa. Paprec really have a pretty solid scoreline, although that 8th in the second race yesterday, hurting them. Stephane Neve just telling us that they had some mechanical issues with the aft pedestal, unable to use the drop line on board quickly with American Magic. Pretty close with Platoon Aviation still.
Nice, we just saw a beautiful jibe there from American Magic in how the Jenneker is rotating from the outside around the forestay. So they do outside jibes here in this wind strength, then they have their stay sail up, so they go full power here. Once we get a shot maybe again from the front or something, we can see it there that the Jenneker has different colors. So this is not because they did some repairs or stuff. No, this is wanted. They actually work with different closes in their Jenneker, and the more dark one, there we go. This is a bit of a stiffer close, so it has more stability, and the more lighter one is a little bit of a more light cloth, also is the color, and is acting differently, so it's like more sensitive. And all the Jennekers look slightly different. Bayou is probably having the most similar Jenneker to the American Magic, as they are also training partner. And I think it's so interesting because in the end all these boats have more or less similar speed, but they invest a lot in their sail design because they're looking for marginal gains.
Indeed, the other boat which is moved on to Quantum this year has been Alpha Plus, lying 5th in this race at the moment, 4th in Saint-Tropez. But looking maybe like there will be a small gain to Alcedo. Alcedo coming in from the right with speed as we approach the Leeward Gate. Could be Alcedo taking over the lead of this race. But it's going to be all about the choice of Leeward Gate and how they go up this second beat, which may determine the outcome. For now, Alcedo more powered up and going slightly quicker, but in the end, Sled probably quite a little bit closer to their turning mark. Kites go down at the same time. It's going to be a little bit about execution in the end. Say Sled probably closer to their mark and then choosing the right side. So it's Alcedo, then Sled, then Paprec. Sled, American Magic being held out slightly by Prevezza. Prevezza getting round in fourth. American Magic having to sail a long way round, but in the end keeping the door closed on Platoon Aviation. At the same time, Alpha Plus going round the right hand mark. There's now a boat between American Magic and Platoon Aviation. Bayou in 8th, Phoenix 9th, Allegra 10th, and Teasing Machine 11th. So really exciting mark crowning, different choices being made on this second beat. Sled going out to the right, to the favoured side on that, on the initial part of the upwind. First time up, but the left came good, so it's going to be fascinating, Louise, to see how Alcedo fare against Sled.
Andy, absolutely. I'm just here leeward of Alcedo, and I kind of like the left side a bit more, but the wind also looks left shifted, so it would be interesting to see how much they want to extend here in the left shift, how much they want to dig deeper, or if they will now soon follow Paprec and also go on the right side. But I'm super proud of the Italian team. They told me this morning they want to work on their starts, they want to work on their downwind speed, and that's exactly what they did this race. So I think as a new team, to have a goal and to execute on it the next day is quite impressive.
It is indeed. It was interesting to talk with Cameron Appleton early on in the regatta. We did our morning interview with him, and he was just so motivated with this team, and just saying it's literally, as you say, it's step by step, looking at their weaknesses and strengthening them day by day, step by step. Now, of course, the program started badly, really, in essence. They within the first 15 minutes, I think, of their first training program, they lost the mast, so they've had to replace the mast, which may be a little bit of a blessing in some senses, in that they have a new rig and sails, making sails for that new rig, so the boat is plenty quick enough. Of course, the boat started life as Azura, Super Series champions when it was built, then it became Interlude, and at the moment they probably have 50 or 60 metres lead, and I think lifting slightly on this port tack upwind. Great race there, Louise, isn't it?
As I said, I kind of like here the left. Yeah, it's amazing. I kind of like here the left side a little bit more, but I would start to slightly get nervous if I would be Alcedo. I feel I separate a lot from the fleet. The wind starts to drop. The rain finished. So there might be a little bit of a change now from what is relevant on this upwind to sail as fast as I can with the least distance, and I would be getting nervous separating that much from the fleet if I know that I'm a fast boat. But they know what they're doing, and they're doing great so far, so let's see how this plays out for them, or if Sled actually is able to make some meters on them good again.
And one thing Cameron Appleton was commending Andrea Lecourt for was his power of concentration. Remember, we were just listening to Marcus Wieser in our pre-start interviews, saying how he just has to be in the tunnel, just focused only on his numbers. And apparently Andrea Lecourt is very, very good at that. That's one of the key requirements, the key strengths of a good helmsman, is to switch off to the external noise and just sail the boat to its numbers, while at the same time having a feel for when the boat's fast and what needs to happen. And clearly with a lifetime of racing, then Andrea Lecourt is pretty strong there, leading race 7.
And it feels like Aikido was listening to me. Now I can actually see on the tracking that they extended in that left shift and then tacked, and now go super well lifted here on the port tack towards the right side. So we couldn't see if the sled made meters on them good or not, because they also tacked. So they also want to stay in phase of the shifts now. Both boats sailing on port tack, actually most of the fleet sailing on port tack, converting that shift. Will be interesting, Andy. Very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. Now the strategist on board the Aikido is Alvaro Marinho, a Portuguese Olympian, 4 times Olympian, and very much working well with Cameron Appleton. Meantime, Paprec hanging in there very, very nicely in 3rd. Furthest to the right of the fleet at the moment are Platoon Aviation. But it's super close in the middle of the fleet, really, between let's say 5th place Platoon Aviation and going back to Alpha Plus, really not very much in it. Breeze is up again after the rain, Louise. We've probably got 14-15 knots, I think, looking at it.
Kind of up and down, and as I said before, like the wind slightly dropped when the rain stopped, but now it's up again, and I can see pressure coming in here very soon from the outside, filling in from offshore. So then the breeze will go up and we will have some more wind for the downwind. So I think there will be all full planing, bow up, go fast on the waves. That's the best moment in these TP52s, I think, sailing wisely.
Indeed, it looks quite hard work upwind on board with the Platoon Aviation, who we have in 5th. There at the back of the boat is Victor Marinho running the runners. Grew up here and obviously will have some input as local info. With his back to us in the fleece is Jules Salter, the super cool and dependable British navigator. Really nothing in it though between the Platoon Aviation and American Magic 5th and 6th. So just watching, maybe a little bit of a gain to Preveza relative to Paprec. Perhaps. Quite close, we're with American Magic just tacking underneath Platoon Aviation. How many times have we seen that before? So a little match race developing, Platoon tack away. Keep the rear clear as best they can. So on that basis, platoon aviation going out towards, or a little bit towards, the starboard tack ley line, but they can't afford to give away any meters to American Magic on the approach. So how are you seeing it now, Louise, with the boats at the front? To me, sled look quite strong. Getting out to the right, and certainly possibly a little bit higher. Maybe the parallax of the camera lens on a long lens, but looks closer certainly between sled and Alcedo just now.
I agree with you, Andy. I had the feeling like sled is going a little bit for a faster forward mode and then being able to tack. But as I said, I really feel pressure coming in here from the left. So there where Alcedo is, I don't quite know how much pressure sled has there, but they make some meters good. Both are super fast boats. So now sled actually tacked, and this will be the moment we will find out who will be in front at the second upwind mark, Andy.
Well, we're on board with Alcedo Vitamina coming back on port, and we should see sled shortly perhaps. Really impressed with the way Paprec are consolidating, staying in third at the moment in that battle between American Magic and Platoon Aviation going on in the middle of the fleet. There we go then. It looks very much like a sled will cross clear ahead of... sorry, this is Paprec, of course. Sled is crossing clear ahead, but they're still a little bit behind Alcedo Vitamina.
Andy, I'm at the upward mark now, and Alcedo will cross in front of sled, but they still have to tack, and they need to stay free for the tack, as sled is having the starboard tack advantage. But the pressure I was talking about just came in here on the last third for Alcedo, and there's really more pressure on that left side right now. I obviously have a better view than the sailors, but let's see who will identify this on the downwind, and also will it stay for the entire downwind.
Indeed. So just explain to us, what do you want to do with the downwind then? If we have pressure on the left, you want to get back to the left looking downwind. Just watching their American Magic tacking. It looks like Platoon Aviation may have lost a couple of boats there.
All the boats again quite close together here, Andy, for the second upwind mark.
So there we go, though. Alcedo round the final windward mark of race number 7 with the lead. Sled are second, still Paprec in third. Krevetsa fourth, so really no significant change in the top 4. Alpha Plus will come round in 5th. Value tacking inside and maybe just a little bit slender on ley line. All 3 boats are overlapped. Value having to shoot the mark now. We've been tight to a little bit of mark room from American Magic. American Magic holding up at the same time Platoon Aviation. It's going to be a fascinating battle down this final run between these two boats. Platoon separated away, of course, last time. And American Magic holding up Platoon Aviation to Vasco's dismay. And I think Vasco is showing his dismay there. As they come round the offset mark. American Magic actually with a slightly better set and better powered up, coming away from the mark. Terry Hutchison also not happy with that mark grounding. So they need to settle down and focus. Stay with the big picture, as it were. Interesting mark grounding, Louise.
Andy, I love that mark rounding. I mean, we saw it a little bit coming, right? Like, American Magic undertaking Platoon Aviation. They're so close, they had to check out again on the second upwind. So there was a little bit of pre-tension. And then, yes, some fight there before they could set the Janaka. This is what we like, and this makes sailing so exciting, I think. Some fights, some battles there in between the boats. Super interesting. And then actually American Magic still have their jib up. So Platoon is using their staysail, American Magic their jib now for the downwind. That allowed American Magic then immediately to accelerate after they hoisted the Janaka, whereas Platoon Aviation was still pulling the staysail up. But this is actually the better mode to sail here with the staysail and not with the jib. That's why American Magic now drops the jib to put the staysail up, so the first meters they gained, they now lose a bit because they put the staysail up, they change the sails. That allows American Magic now to come closer, so there's a real battle going on, Andy, between these two boats.
There is, as it very, very often is, this battle between Terry Hutchison and Vasco Voscotto. Resumed this season. Terry, of course, has been away with American Magic. Let's have a quick look back at that. The regatta standings, if we could. At the moment, the lead in the regatta would be trimmed to 14 points. It was 16 points going on the water. American Magic, Alcedo Vitamina hanging in nicely and with a good second. Paprec third on 36, Platoon Aviation 38, Sled 39, 43 Prevezza, Allegra 46, 49 for Phoenix, Alpha plus 50 and 50 for Brayu, Teasing Machine on 55. So that's if positions stay the same through the finish line. We're on the second and final run of race number 7. Alcedo Vitamina heading for victory, which would be their first at this regatta, if I'm not wrong. Oh, sorry, their second of this regatta. They won the second race and bouncing back from a 10th in the previous race. Big changes going on though, with clearly some little bit of a shift, a little right shift perhaps. Certainly Alpha Plus pushing it. In the meantime, Sled, Paprec and Prevezza having their own little battle, whether hopefully Paprec don't get squeezed out by the boat to windward, which is Prevezza, and Sled to leeward. American Magic and Platoon Aviation still going at it. 7th and 8th. But Louise, clearly it's quite gusty and puffy now. After this rain, Vasco looking for the penalty.
Oh, Andy, it's definitely these two teams having a proper fight going on there. I don't know if Platoon is yet in the position to allow this, because they're not close enough to actually look for a match race with American Magic. They still need to catch up too many boats to just focus now on that white boat. And once they were having their little battles, the other boats happily jibed on the better jibe and stayed in more wind. So I think this unfortunately cost Platoon Aviation some meters. I really like the moment where Alcedo and Alpha Plus drive. This was just the moment the wind shifted and they were running out of pressure, so great drive there from these two boats. And unfortunately Paprick acted just a little bit too late. That's why Provezzo could roll them then, and now they're just behind these two boats. But let's see, I can again see some pressure coming down here on the right side when you look downwind. So there were American Magic jibed in now. Let's see, it will be exciting until the end again of the little fight we had in the back between American Magic and Platoon Aviation, and the boats in the middle as they're quite close together.
Indeed, seems like the pressure has come down the left. Whether that's going to affect American Magic out on the right will be interesting. I think American Magic will come in with the hotter angle in the end. But for sure, good work from Hamish Pepper and Cole Parada and the team on board Provezzo, just getting through, certainly taking Paprec down that run. Provezzo would go 3-3. Starting to see the teams which made a slow start, modest start to the season for various different reasons. Big teams like Provezzo and Platoon Aviation starting to, I think, get a little bit of consistency, a little bit of momentum. Having said that, Platoon Aviation, having gone 2-1, are presently 8th and locked in this tough battle with American Magic. But I think one thing is for sure, there is little doubt that Andrea Lacorte is really loving the 52 Super Series. Came in from Club Swan 50s. And that's our projected results if positions stay the same. Provezzo have jibed back towards the boats to their right. That's a sled principally. But at the end, looking like the Italian team will win race 7. Then it's going to be close. Probably over 200 meters in the bank. But I wonder whether Provezzo are going to manage to get in and steal second. On the hunt, on the charge. There we go, everybody high fives, handshakes, back slaps on the Alcedo. Now let's see, it's going to be an exciting finish for second. Can Provezzo get there? They were 6th at the top mark first time up. Sled do have the upper hand for the moment. Leading the jibe. All three boats jibing in sequence now. Can Paprick get through to windward? It's all about Provezzo's jibe. But I think Provezzo will probably close the door. In the end, a fairly direct run through into the finish. Sled gets second, Preveza third, Paprec fourth, Alpha Plus fifth. They were fourth at the top mark first time up. Alpha Plus through in fifth. Let's see in the battle between American Magic and Platoon Aviation, who comes out on top there. Looking very much like American Magic for the moment. Value coming in for sixth, fairly comfortable sixth in the end. There we go, American Magic will jibe in front of Platoon Aviation. Value coming through the line with speed. Value, believe it or not, that is their sixth place from 7 races. American Magic coming through in 7th. That's their worst score so far. Platoon Aviation, and then Phoenix, who are over the line. Then Allegra and Teasing Machine. Wow, what an exciting race, and all credit then to the Italian team, Alcedo Vitamina, winning their second race of the regatta, moving them up to second on the Royal Cup leaderboard. Sled led at the top mark. So Louise, your thoughts on that race? Let's say Sled led at the top mark, but Alcedo Vitamina got through them on that run in the end. But a fascinating race, wasn't it?
Absolutely, Andy. It was so exciting, but well sailed, especially by Alcedo and Sled. Like, in the end, it was just the left side always paying off a bit better, especially coming into the upwind mark. That also made then Alcedo overtaking Sled, but super exciting. Proveza's downwind speed on this last downwind was outstanding. They almost beat Sled, and there were 2 boats behind, so they overtook Paprec and then almost led super fast. And how exciting was the little battles between Platoon Aviation and American Magic. Unfortunately, I think things didn't quite work out for Platoon Aviation now as they wanted it, but they definitely put American Magic a little bit under pressure. And now it will be more exciting as well for the entire series. Well done for the Italian team, Andy. I think 2 first places in such a competitive fleet as a new team is quite a performance.
It is quite a performance, and it's also a great advert or magnet for other owners perhaps to consider coming in, taking the step up into the 52 Super Series. Say Andrea Lacorte has come from the Club Swan 50s and proving, as Marcus Wieser was saying before he went on the water, just saying the standard in the Club Swan 50s is very high, but this really is a step up in terms of boat performance, and the technical requirements, the technical level in this fleet, of course, is significantly higher. But Andrea Lacorte proving that it's very, very achievable with a good team round about you. So hopefully we can have a look at the event standings before we take a little bit of a break. And indeed, American Magic 14 points ahead. There were 16 points ahead going on to this race, but ending up with a 7th. Alcedo Vitamina in second now in 35 points. Paprec 37 points, 1 point ahead of Platoon Aviation. So exciting. The German team in 4th. Sled in 5th, just 1 point behind, and a 3-point gap to Preveza. A good 3rd place for them in that race. On the up, 2/3 in a row. Allegra 10th in that race, dropping to 7th just now. 49 points for Phoenix in 8th. Alpha Plus 50 points, just 1 point behind. Same points tally as Vayu, who are 10th on Teasing Machine on 55. 11th place for the French team, who have struggled at times. This is their first regatta of the season. Not really focused on the circuit at all, but they've had some bright spots. But anyway, that's what we have for you at the moment. We're going to take a little bit of a break. I should imagine we will go straight into race number 8 fairly quickly. Breeze is in nicely, probably 13, 14 knots just now. We'll see you in a few minutes' time.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line them up. That's fine with us. Go and line them up. 4, 5, fine with us. Fine with us. Line up. I said go and line up. It's fine with us. I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. even really know where to begin, because it seems like every time I get ahead, I end up going 2 steps back. So tonight, I'm just gonna let this one ride. You know what I mean? I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line them up. That's fine with us. Go and line them up. Fine with us. Fine with us. Line up. I said go and line up. Yes, fine with us. I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us.
Welcome back to Bayona and beautiful Galicia. The good news is the rain has cleared that we saw in the early part of race number 7, and we should roll into race number 8 fairly quickly. The team's just evaluating what the breeze is going to do, making their final jib selections. Now, our very own former 470 world champion, Louise Vanser, who is our on-the-water commentator, caught up with some of the hugely talented women we have in this fleet, including Arant Malasapina on board Alcedo, Nopakau Punpat, who's steering Vayu, and Laura Polsak, who's on board American Magic. And this is our interviews with these hugely talented women.
So I know a little bit the place, but we had a super light regatta, so the beginning of the week was completely different than last year.
How do you like Bayona and what do you think about Galicia?
So the place is nice, it's really cool. To me it's like a cold Porto Cervo because with all this island, all these beaches and the islands, but then it's everything super green, like it looks like it rains a little bit more than in Sardinia. But it's super nice because you have these small bays and the life on the shore, it's easy. It's like a lot of tiny streets in the city, so I like Bayona.
I love Bayona a lot. Since last time I joined the event here, and 2 years ago. So I love like the vibe here with the beach and the sunset, and especially like they have some special kind of beauty here that I like. Yeah.
I think Bayona is lovely. It has that old town feel, and the castle in front of it makes it look really spectacular. The people are very friendly. The seafood is amazing. It just feels very lovely, even though it can be a little bit rainy sometimes, but we love it anyway.
So what's the position you have on the boat, and how does your work look like on the boat? Like, what's your job?
So I'm working with the bow team, so I'm the floater, so I help, for example, in the hoist, in the drop, the bow team. I go inside maybe if there's a kite change and then they need somebody light who go inside and change the sheets or the kite, I can do this. Then I trim, when we have the jib up, I trim the jib from the stern, and then obviously hiking as much as you can, even if I'm light. And yeah, as a floater you go a little bit around where they need a couple of hands more to do something.
I mean, on shore before doing the race, I feel like nervous, and also I'm pretty honored to be here. And when I see people, like their profile is amazing. But when I'm on the boat, so I mainly just focus on what I have to do, because we also have the team that is they are very professional. So I mean, for me, I have to do my best, because to work as a teamwork with the team. So when I driving the boat, I feel like I just need to focus on my thing. So I don't think about other boats. I just focus on what I have to do. Yeah.
So for a long time I was the only girl on board Quantum Racing, but now for the last 3 years there's at least 2 girls all the time. So Sarah is the navigator this year. But it's always been great. Even when I was the only one, the guys accepted me and made me feel very comfortable straight away. But it is a lot nicer to have another girl on the team.
Yeah, I would like to invite more girls on the class. And I mean, it's it would be more fun to have more girls in the class, and also feeling like driving the boat. I mean, against the professionals, and the boys is just like my team is also we work as a teamwork. So for me, that I focus on what I have to do. And also they know what I can do, what I cannot do. So they support me a lot on that too. Yeah.
So there we go. Just some of the highly talented women who are in our fleet and doing a fantastic job. Great to catch up with yesterday with Mariana Lobato, who's the strategist, and she is really much more of an ocean racer. She's on board Teasing Machine. But Arantxa Malasapina is also a hugely talented helm in her own right. She's leading the 5.5 metre circuit in Italy at the moment. And of course, Nopakau Poonpat is a former Optimus world champion who has been with the Value team really since very, very early days. They've helped her transition from the Optimist into these fantastic Grand Prix monohulls. The leading Grand Prix monohull circuit in the world is the 52 Super Series, and she's doing a great job steering Value. Anyway, Louise, great interviews. How are things looking on the water just now? Nice breeze, and we're heading into the start. We've got 3.5 minutes or so to go.
Andy, the rain finally stopped and I can feel some sun in my face. Oh, that feels so good. I can still see some rain towards your office, so on the left side of the race course there's rain, there are rain clouds. In general, the sky opened up a little bit, but there's still plenty of clouds and a lot of rain potential coming in again. Similar as we had yesterday actually for the second race. It's really interesting to see the day involving very much the same. I think for this race it will be again a question of will the left side work out well, and when yes, do you need definitely a clear lane to execute that gain here on the left side to be then able to sail on the port tack free. I still like the left, I still favor the left, but let's see, we really have to watch out when the pressure drops. It's kind of up and down still, and when the pressure dropped, I always had the feeling the wind fills in from the opening of the bay, so from offshore. That's right, it means you really want to position yourself there. A lot of things to consider here at the moment on the racetrack, a lot of things to think about. Big wind range, wind is going up and down, left and right. Exciting racing, Andy.
Indeed, we saw that kind of similar pattern yesterday. We had the early rain and mist that cleared, with then, as you say, the breeze was much more erratic in the second race. And actually, if you remember, second race yesterday, we shortened the course to a 1.4 mile beat. But for the moment, the breeze does look pretty solid across the start line and up the windward leg. But overall then, things looking pretty rosy for American Magic Quantum Racing with that 14-point lead, but really can't afford to get involved with private battles with Platoon Aviation, for example, though the two do seem to be lining up alongside each other the way things are at 1.5 minutes, but many things can develop on this start line. Prevets starting towards, or looking to start towards the pin end of the line. Certainly holding on to and protecting that pin end as best they can from Alcedo. Alcedo going forward, pulling Prevets forward with them, just to Prevets trying to maintain their clear air, or getting the chance to break away from Alcedo to windward. Meantime, further up the line, let's say Platoon Aviation and American Magic lining up alongside each other, Louise.
Definitely, Andy. It's so funny. I really have a flashback from yesterday. Like Vayu now at the pin end, they did the same yesterday in the second race. Then we have Sled starting now at the right side instead of the race before on the left side, same as yesterday. Really funny to see this evolving here. And then the other boats from from the middle. Very interesting.
Very interesting. Alcedo well forward on the line momentarily, but just keeping the bow down, trying to stay behind the line at 5 seconds to go. So two bows down on Vayu and Prevets. Prevets ending up being a little bit buried at the pin end of the line. Alcedo, I think, not sure yet, looks like they may be over the start line. General recall in the end, we believe. Certainly it was Alcedo who pulled the fleet forward. I think they'll just carry on, just do a little bit of speed testing and check the angles on this upwind. But that looking at how Alcedo are going back just now, clearly a general. Haven't seen the flags, but Louise, we're thinking a general recall.
Andy, I haven't quite seen the flags for the general recall, but now also Allegro is turning back, so maybe this was a general recall and the boats just want to continue and see how they would have get out of the line. Yes, I think it was a general recall, as most of the boats now turn around. So from this perspective, how they went out of the start, actually I kind of like to start a little bit more towards the right side, Andy, because then you have the option to go to the right side if needed.
Indeed. Maybe that's why American Magic and Platoon were just trying to keep their options open. Certainly that's very often the American Magic modus operandi, especially when they have a little bit of speed to get out of trouble. Don't really have to push it too hard on the start line. So the team's just looking round. We're just watching on board just now with Platoon Aviation. We can see Victor Mourinho, who I think is very much more in a strategist role here, backing up Vasco Vascotto. I guess, Louise, that Vasco is talking to Javier de la Gandera, perhaps, who's their local knowledge expert, a very, very good friend of Victor Mourinho. just trying to work out what they feel the breeze is going to do. So we're thinking Victor much more in a strategist role here this time, obviously being a local but hugely experienced anyway, Louise.
And yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense, because in the end it's important to have a strategist. Like, just to explain again the different jobs. The tactician is more for the small picture, responsible, like boat-on-boat interactions, and also to manage the team and have everything under control. Whilst the strategist try to have the big picture in mind, like just keeps on feeding information in for the tactician. And let's go back to the race before, where we had this battle on the downwind between American Magic and Platoon Aviation, and usually Jordi Calafat is the strategist on Platoon Aviation. And I feel, especially in these moments where the tactician is just fully focusing on the other boat he wants to beat, it's important to have a strategist that is used to his role, who can then help the tactician to put the head again out of the boat, to maybe don't lose the big picture and understand what's the most relevant thing here to do. So the work between the strategist and the tactician is actually super important.
It is indeed, and obviously different boats, different roles, depending on whether we have an owner driver who needs perhaps a little bit more communication, and whether we have a pro driver. So at the moment, I think certainly on Platoon Aviation, we could just see a few seconds ago the Victor Mourinho talking with Marcus Wieser, saying what he feels is going on. And again, just in terms of the strategist
Andy,
role.
the team.
Go on, Louise, sorry.
Andy, the teams are hot. Let's just think. So there are 3 more races to go. I think a general recall now was definitely an indicator for that. Now all the teams want to push again. It's always so funny, because in the end, the first race of the series was as important as the 10th race of the series. But you kind of understand a little bit more how much you still have to push, how much risk you want to take. And I think there are a lot of boats here who still want to make big steps forward, so they're happy to take a bit more risk. And we saw this at the start when they were all accelerating quite early, and from the beginning on relatively close to the line. You can see these general recalls coming up actually quite early, especially when you're on the boats, because then you can see as a navigator where you're running, if you have a lot of time to kill, if you have no time to kill. So they see this coming early.
Indeed, that's the case, and it really, for me it was Alcedo which was pulling the fleet forward, and you can pretty much tell if the bows are down with 2 or 3 seconds to go, or 5 seconds to go. In the case of Alcedo, they were quite early trying to get the bow down, be back behind the line, or at least be buried by other teams, other sails. Then that was part of the what initiated that general recall. So we're back inside 4 minutes before the second attempt at starting. Now let's see how the teams line up. And it's, again, Louise, very clearly that the starts become more and more important. And American Magic, even with a 14-point lead, can't afford to be conservative, can they?
I think American Magic is still one of the faster boats, so they can actually still go for a more conservative strategy, but the start is definitely becoming more and more important, as in general the boats have more or less the same speed. So there's no outstanding boat that can just do whatever they want with the fleet, which makes the start so exciting and so important as well, especially the time to distance. You want to be over target, crossing that starting line on the gun, so on 0. Looking upwind now, Andy, I can see rain on the left. In the past, the rain brought always wind. That would mean you want to go towards the left side. I can see a little bit less wind on the right side. So the start before, I said I would be happy starting more to the right, to have the option to tack to the right side now again. For this start, I would evaluate my risk, where I am now in the series. It's now the moment to start slowly thinking about this 3 races ahead. So if I want to take a lot of risk, I would start towards the pennant. If I'm happy with a more conservative strategy, like American Magic could, for example, afford being a fast boat, I would happily start more towards the middle and have an option.
Indeed, we're at just over 2 minutes to go before the start of this race number 8. Looking to see how things are shaping up. Well, teasing machine perhaps thinking about the left end. Allegra too. But it's so important to get a little bit of space on the line. As Louise has been saying consistently, it's so important to try and have a bit of area to drive into, not be constricted by boats below you and above you in particular, which was the case in fact with American Magic on that last start.
And yeah, I can see a lot of boats actually quite spread over their starting line. They don't really want to go clear for one side or the other side. Allegro here towards the left, most left boat. Sled also now more to the left. Interesting, because the start before they were the second boat from the right. So they saw something that made them change their starting strategy on that. I would be curious for that. I will ask them later why they changed that. I think that's interesting. Maybe it's a shift. I can't really see that one here. But it would be interesting to see how that works out for them.
Was a bit, for sure, the fleet lining up in the last final 30 seconds. A little bit more conservative this time for American Magic going forward from their position, just protecting against the boats to weather. Bow comes down at 8 seconds on Allegra. Bowman calling Andy Soriano up. Now then, start has gone. Clear start, great start from Patrick. My heart was in my mouth for the French team. Always hard to tell from the different camera angles, but really for me, Louise, Paprec won that start at the gun. American Magic got away nicely, but American Magic have Paprec forward of them.
Absolutely agree with you, Andy. That's a start how you want it. If I could paint a start, then it's the start of Paprec here. They seem to be a bit in the back in the beginning. I thought, oi, 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 be fast. I hope you can make it. And then they fully accelerated, whilst the other boats were still already quite close to the line, so they couldn't accelerate as early as Paprec, and that's how they went full target over the starting line. A lot of place to leeward. That's the position we want. They are in full control.
Now, can they hold on to it? Do they have the boat speed to squeeze up to American Magic? 2 boats above America, or 1 boat above American Magic. There is Platoon Aviation, who in turn are being a little bit squeezed by Provezza. But in the end, Louise probably in a little bit of right phase in the breeze, perhaps. Depending on where you are on the race course. Allegra sailing quite deep just now.
I agree with you, Andy. Also, how the boats came out of the starting line seemed like a bit of a right shift there. I also feel that Paprec can just put the bow a little bit higher than the boats more towards the left, which can be actually also just more pressure. We saw it yesterday that you really have to sail into the pressure. The pressure is not really coming down to the boats. They actively have to sail into it to get the more wind.
Anyway, Nick Asher and Will Ryan placing their faith on the left just now. Whether that investment will come good, we will wait and see. Meantime, Paprec still just managing to hold off American Magic in terms of raw speed upwind. So the breeze at about 200 degrees once again. Boats which have gone right early are Alpha Plus and Sled. Alcedo not so good this time off the start line. Platoon have tacked and are going to the right.
It would be interesting to follow the boats from the right side as well, with an eye maybe on the tracking, Andy, because Sled actually had to tack out. They were a bit bow back from the start and couldn't hold their lane and had to cross behind the boats, and now at least on the tracking they seem to be quite in front. It's very interesting. We have a bit of sunshine here, some cloud on the left over Bayona with rain, but in general the wind dropped a bit again. So if there's new pressure filling in, it will fill in from offshore. So from the opening there of the bay, so you kind of try to sail with your boat there where the pressure will come in first again.
Interesting. I think Platoon are obviously have some belief in that idea as well. American Magic tacked, and in the meantime Paprec seem to be happy to carry on to the left of the upwind, Louise, rather than going with American Magic. So let's see how that plays out. Meantime, Alcedo Vitamina, the race, 7 winners are down in 10th just now, but it really is, it's pretty close between the top 10 boats. Very even track. Privetza are our race leaders for the moment, though say very, very little in it.
And yeah, I thought Paprec heard you, and they followed American Magic, also went there for attack. And now Allegro and Phoenix are the most left boats here. The course is 1.9 nautical miles long, so quite long for the breeze we have. That's a long way still for Allegro. They can still continue their way here further to the left and wait for Phoenix to tack. But it's slowly time for them to think about how to do the tack and when to do it, because they need to be free for their tack. It would be so painful if they would need to go behind Phoenix.
Just a little bit of sparkle on the water, as Louise said. Some shards of sunshine, but also some ominous rain clouds around. Early leader though is Privetza. Privetza have not won a race this season. Their best was a second in the final race in Saint-Tropez. They are in 6th at this Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup.
Nice, Andy. Now all the boats tacked onto port and are sailing now on that super long port tack to the upwind mark. I think it's still a little bit early to understand which boats are in front, especially because if the left side has an advantage, we will see just in the end, in the last third of the upwind mark approach, the advantage, gain converting. But it's good to see Provezza in front. When I spoke with them this morning, they told me they still try to figure out a little bit how to sail with their new boat, what to change, and especially they wanted to focus on the downwind speed. They seem to be pretty fast downwind before, and now they're also very fast on the upwind. I like to see that, Andy.
Indeed, and their boat handling in that first race today was pretty impeccable, coming down that downwind, really outmanoeuvring Paprec in the end. But once again, a battle between American Magic and Platoon Aviation. Of course, the Royal Cup is this standalone trophy. Dates back to the days of the IMS 50 class. A bunch of top IMS 50 owners donated the trophy in the first place, including King Harold, and it's been with the class since the 52 Super Series started in 2012, and the team which actually has won it most has been Quantum Racing, won it 2015, 14 and 13 and again in 2022, but in fact Platoon Aviation have won it 3 years out of the last 4. They're the holders, winning it in Valencia, the last regatta of the season. And they won it in 2023 and in 2021. However, at the moment it looks like at the moment for sure the trophy is heading across the Atlantic with American Magic, who have this 14-point lead with 3 races to go. But we've seen some strange things happening to the 52 Super Series over the 13 years we've been competing.
Nice onboard shots there from American Magic we just saw. And also now we see the green stripes there in their sail. Whoever wondered what they're for, green zebra stripes, these are actually draft stripes, so they make it more easy when you take a picture, and also for the trimmers to understand the draft, the depth of the sail, and then they can later work with it, they can analyze it. So these stripes are actually there to help the trimmers and the sail designers to understand the shapes of the sails and how to develop them. Funny enough, Jordi Calafat isn't here on the water for Platoon Aviation, but he's in the office. He's working as a sailmaker for them. And yesterday he wanted the sailmaker to take 1.5 millimeter of draft out of their mainsail. That's incredible for me. Their mainsail is 98 meters square big, and you want to take 1.5 millimeter draft out of it? I mean, this is really in detail, Andy.
It is indeed great information for the geeks, but you would also have to sympathise with the sailmakers here who are having to do such changes to such a high level of precision, and all of the team sailmakers work extremely hard, really do seem to be at it all the time, so huge credit to them. But Allegra there coming from the left, good wind pressure just now. American Magic chasing Provezza in this race just now. They're all well cleared of Platoon Aviation. We saw that in the overhead shots previously. How do we feel, Louise? Do we think this left side is going to come in stronger? Getting towards the top mark, as you say, in the final third, whether Phoenix and in particular Allegra can make some gains.
And I'm currently going to the upward mark. I will let you know once I'm there.
Okie dokie. Hang on tight. Quick tack from Platoon Aviation with Alcedo coming across on port. Platoon Aviation electing to tack and try and roll over the top of or hold Alcedo as best they can. Really nothing in it between these two boats, but they're about 100 metres behind the runaways Provezza and American Magic. Allegra converging from the left. It'll be interesting to see how close they are and whether their position is strengthening relative to Platoon and Alcedo Vitamina. So boats look quite high on this starboard tack coming into the top mark, looking at the where Alcedo are in terms of ley line.
Andy, I'm at the upwind mark now, and yes, the boats look high on that starboard ley line, but they overstood the mark a little bit, so they went over the ley line. And also the boats now from the left, they got this gain I talked about earlier that comes to play really late. And I think they will be all in front, unfortunately. But the other boats will have the starboard tack advantage, so we will have exciting situations because they need to find their places to get a tack in.
Indeed, but it is looking like Provezza leading round the top mark in the end with about two and a half boat lengths ahead of American Magic. Then it's, I think Alcedo will come in with third. Alcedo almost clear of Platoon Aviation, who are in fourth. Next round is Sled. Sled stayed well to the right. Paprec coming round. He had such a good start, but getting round in sixth. Seventh, Vayu. Vayu were out on the right. Next, I think, is Teasing Machine, bow 12. And then the next three boats are going to be Alpha plus Allegra. And being held high just now, Phoenix and Alpha plus. So an interesting upwind then, really, all in all. Provezza making their gains stick, and they're over 40 or so metres clear of American Magic, but massive credit to American Magic, Louise. They didn't have a super strong start, but they just chipped away and got themselves up to second, and they have a boat between them and Platoon Aviation. Your thoughts on that upwind, Louise?
Andy, I agree with you. I think American Magic had a bit of difficulties. They're coming out of the start with Paprec just leeward of them, trying to make the life difficult for American Magic. But then once they tacked onto port, they had a beautiful lane and could use their speed, but also Provezza seem to match the speed of American Magic, which is really good to see. So we have two boats more or less with the same speed who sailed super fast there, and that allowed them to now have a little bit of a gap to the rest of the fleet. Also, Alcedo did great there, being in the third place. And then in the end, the left came in a bit stronger than the right side, but there was just no place to tack for a boat like Allegro, for example. There was not enough space to undertake platoon aviation. That's why they had to go all behind the other boats to then finally tack, which is so painful when you're on the side coming in so strong, but then there's just no room from the other starboard boat tack boats.
So the projected positions in this regatta after this race, if positions stayed the same, well, Alcedo Vitamina would be 15 points behind American Magic. Platoon Aviation moving up to third overall, only a point clear of Provezza. Paprec dropping from third to fifth, but only on count back relative to Provezza. Sled a point behind, and then Allegra 1 point up on Vayu, Alpha Plus, Phoenix, and Teasing Machine. So everything to play for. But overall, big picture, things looking good for the American Magic team, who are, of course, the circuit leaders.
Okay, bow's coming down in here. In 3.
So American Magic rolling into their jibe. Terry Hutchison just calling the jibe, telling Harry Meldis
Nice,
when
I
he
like
wants
what I see.
Good.
And yes, because I just thought, looking there to that island being so dark again, that there's some rain, so there might be a bit more wind than here, where there's more or less, well, as clear as the sky can be with all these clouds. So I like that American Magic is trying to go for a jibe there. Bit of a risk, because for them a second place is a very, very good place. It's a strong keeper, but I think it's good that they went for the jibe. They want to try something, and now there's some new pressure filling in from the back, so I think we will have more teams going for that jibe here, Andy.
Indeed, let's see how that evolves. But Provezza seem to have been happy to carry on. But for sure there's more pressure. The bow waves lifting very slightly. On board Platoon Aviation, Mickey Muller and Jill Salter on the... sorry, Andy Axelson it was on the pumps there. I wonder whether Platoon Aviation can get down inside Alcedo. Alcedo just completing their jibe now.
Nice. There you can see now how there's actually some clouds and rain over the islands.
Yeah.
Which is probably bringing the wind there as well for the boat. So I hope Alcedo didn't jibe too late. We know that we really have to sail into the pressure. The pressure is not really coming down to the boats, so you have to be super accurate and watch out for where the pressure will be first and how to stay in it as well. I think that's a beautiful boat with all the blue. I also saw the Italian flag yesterday on the grinder handles. I think this is such a cute little detail, which can be so yeah, which can be so powerful because the grinders really get to their limit when they're grinding there, and then to see the Italian flag can be maybe an extra motivation.
Indeed. I do like the tricolor flash on the hull side as well. Really subtle, but of course the boat was blue originally as Azzurra. But this is very much an all Italian program in terms of it's an Italian owner who comes from the Pisa area. And his core team have been together for a good few years. Whereas, to be fair, when it was Azzurra, of course, it was represented the yacht club Costa Smeralda Italian colours, but it was owned by the Roemers family from Argentina, who are super proud members of the yacht club Costa Smeralda. But it was a kind of mix between Argentina and Italy. Anyway, Prevezza hanging in very nicely. They've done well against American Magic. Still 116 meters of margin. Platoon Aviation maybe catching Alcedo very slightly. They're to their left.
Andy, I'm at the downwind gate now, and if we follow the tracking, then there was actually also a quite big right shift. The boats just sailed 1/3 of the downwind on starboard jibe and all the rest of that downwind on port jibe. And also you can see the rain I talked about there deep over the island on the right side. And now I can also see on the water a very black line of wind. So there is more wind on that right side with a right shift. So the question for the boats is now, are they immediately trying to convert that right shift to get on starboard tack, or do they want to dig deeper into the right side? Maybe there will be even more pressure, maybe there will be even a bigger right shift. The question is just always like, for how long will this last? So a lot of decisions that need to get done here before this downwind gate.
Indeed, Prevezza, I think, going round the right-hand mark and will go out to the right. So too American Magic, almost certainly. Round in second. Now then, with that perspective, it looks very much like Platoon Aviation might squeeze in around that right-hand mark, just a little bit ahead of Alcedo. Alcedo going onto the left-hand mark. Whether they lose because of that, but for the meantime, I think for me, Platoon Aviation getting round the mark quicker. Sled in 5th, Paprec 6th. Value in 7th on the left-hand mark. Alpha Plus on the right-hand mark at the same time as we have Teasing Machine on the left-hand mark. Allegra in 11th just now, then So this is going to be a fascinating final beat of the day. For me, very much Platoon versus Alcedo for the third step on the podium in this race. But Louise, we think the right looks quite strong.
Yes, Andy, I think the right looks quite strong, and I'm a bit worried here about Alcedo. I mean, they immediately try to convert the shift, so the right shift, so get onto starboard. I just think that there is even more pressure on the right side, where you can see Provezza, American Magic, and Platoon, and Sled. So I'm a bit worried, but we will see how this will end up, because if the pressure would drop on the right side, Alcedo has an option here, but I think they heard that I'm worried, and that's when they roll here into their tech. That's good. Now I can breathe a little bit better. You know, these things always makes me a little bit nervous.
Louise, you have to be careful you don't get too good, or we're going to have all the teams listening to the live for Louise's tips, her coaching tips going up this second beat. But actually, they come out of the tack. They look to be quite high on port. Certainly in good wind pressure. But it is fascinating because again, we get this perspective from the drone. You can see the wind pattern on the water. As Louise said, though, not so immediately apparent in these grey overhead conditions. But I think probably in the end, Platoon Aviation are going to make the net gain against Alcedo. Vitamina crossing, I think, clear ahead. A little bit less powered up than American Magic to their weather. Only marginal. So this, if Provezza can hang in there and win this race, that would be good for their challenge. Again, a team that had a pretty miserable time in Saint-Tropez. Had that UFD start on day one, race one. Over the line with the black flag up. However, they would go 3-3-1 from 3 races. But I think our boat, at the moment, the boat with our best average for the day just now would be actually Andrea Lacorte's Alcedo, potentially with a 5-point aggregate for the day as things stand at the moment. Yeah, breeze building nicely, quite a little bit squally now, Louise.
Yes, Andy, breeze is also building now here on the left. Now I would say the breeze is quite equal on both sides. Maybe I would still try to avoid the far outside left. And American Magic actually just did a nice move. Platoon Aviation tagged. They tagged on top of Platoon Aviation, but then Provezza obviously followed and also tagged on American Magic. So all Platoon Aviation and American Magic now have to tag out again on the left side, and Provezza can sail their own lane. They go now on port. Talking about it, they actually decided to follow American Magic and Platoon Aviation back onto starboard. So a bit of action going on here, Andy, for the first 3 boats. That's
And
good
the-
for Alcedo in number 4 because the more attacks the first 3 boats do, the more they will slow down, and this will open up some opportunities for the boats further back.
Indeed, Alcedo going out to the right side. We see them having regained third place. You can see in that shot. Out to the right on this upwind. Whether we're going to see this breeze develop with a left shift, or whether we have that slightly more geographical shift on that right side, as Louise said. We have that very, very high land on the island out to the right, which will channel the breeze a little bit. But aren't we having great racing today as we did yesterday, Louise?
Fabulous. It's a fabulous day. A little bit less rain than yesterday. That's even better for us and also for the sailors. It was quite hard for everyone yesterday. And it's so tight, everything. Like, if we watch now the picture we have here on the live stream, we see Alcedo there on the right side putting the bow up quite nicely. Andy in platoon here on the left. A little bit losing to American Magic and Provezza, I would say.
I think so. Unfortunately, there are not too many options left just now on this upwind for Harmuller-Spears team. A little bit in the pocket of American Magic. We've seen Platoon Aviation make some gains on the downwinds from time to time. Clearly, Terry Hutchison just getting a little bit frustrated, I think, shouting. I think at Provezza, maybe feeling like they're exposed to the right, or they're ending up being exposed to the right. Indeed, yeah, the right shift coming through for Alcedo. That's why Terry was upset at Provezza. They're missing out on the chance to stay with Alcedo. So pretty fascinating, Louise, isn't it? Alcedo got the wind in the right. Not sure how long it's going to last for them, whether Provezza will still cross them, but for sure it's a high angle for the Italian boat.
It's very good to see, Andy, especially if we watch the tracking, we can really see how the tail of the boat is now shifting like a banana, so the right shift is coming in there, and that's super good for Alcedo and Sled as well.
So could it be a double bullet day for the Italian team? Andrea Lacorte's Alcedo Vitamina? Not sure. So when we looked at the live images, we could see Provezza still coming back at them, and Provezza, I think, just regaining the lead. And that was partly to do with the lift on that right side looking upwind. I wonder whether Alcedo Vitamina will split Provezza and American Magic. It looks a little bit like it round this top mark, final upwind mark of the day. penultimate day of the Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup, the second event of 5 on the world's leading Grand Prix monohull circuit. Provezza Louise staying calm under pressure.
Oh yes, Andy, but Aikido is really on their, on them. Like they need to both still do a tech. They will probably tech simultaneously, and then they will be neck on neck for the last downwind of the day, Andy.
They will, and American Magic are poised in the end. Platoon Aviation just losing a little bit in the end on upwind. But interesting, just reflecting on Terry Hutchison shouting at Provezza when Al-Qaeda were over on the right side, but clearly making a gain. Provezza, then Al-Qaeda, then American Magic. Whether if Provezza had tacked earlier, American Magic could be in front of Al-Qaeda, but that really is a moot point at the moment. Platoon Aviation coming round in fourth. Fifth, I think, is still Sled. Yeah, there goes Sled. Then Teasing Machine are up in sixth. Eighth, the first mark, first time round. Ninth at the leeward mark. Teasing Machine made a three place gain coming up that second beat. And they're ahead of their French rivals on Paprec. Then Vayu, Allegra, Alpha Plus, and Phoenix still in 11th. So the final run, all 5 top boats in this race, bow to stern going down this last run. Paprec clearly have a problem with no kite, but this would be Provezza's first win this season. Best score was a second in the last race in Saint-Tropez. And as I said, going 3-3-1 from 3 races will keep Ergun Himri a little bit happier, the Turkish owner of the Provezza team. On board with the American Magic then. Terry Hutchison looking round at the breeze, conferring a little bit with Victor Diaz de Leon. Getting a little bit of input also, I think, from Olympic bronze medalist Luis Calabrese. So looking then at the projected standings after this race, if things stay the same. Positions stay the same. American Magic would be on 23, 15 points ahead of Alcedo Vitamina. Platoon Aviation moving up to third place on 42. Preveza 43. Sled on 44. But I think there's a lot more golf in this hole, as they say. Depending whether the battle is between Alcedo Vitamina and American Magic on this downwind. What's your view on this run at this stage, Louise?
And actually some interesting things just happened. So most of the boats carried on that starboard jibe after the mark, and they slowly run out of pressure, and I already start to think, oh wow, I can see this rain again in the islands there on the right side. So I hoped to see some boats jibing, and then I think Alpha Plus was the first boat to jibe more in the back of the fleet, and they were immediately able to put the bow up and accelerate, so they got more pressure. Alcedo then jibed, Preveza jibed, and then slowly the rest of the fleet jibed. And at some point the boats who jibed first, like Alpha Plus, they seemed like almost doing double of the speed than, for example, Vayu, who jibed as one of the last boats. So big pressure differences here on that final downwind of the day, mostly driven by rain clouds. And it's definitely a head out of the boat day. I remember my coach always kept me telling that on crazy days like today. Alright, whatever happens inside the boat, keep the head out of the boat, because it's so important to stay in that pressure. You just have so much more wind, especially on downwind. You can then change the mode, bow up and full planing and full send, Andy.
Full send sounds good to me on this final run of the day. Preveza though 115 metre lead ahead of Alcedo. And then a gap back to American Magic and Platoon Aviation. American Magic slightly more exposed to the right with this pressure coming in from the left, according to Louise. On board with Alcedo. So this is the Italian teams, or the full Italian teams, only their second regatta in the 52 Super Series, looking with all the potential in the world to finish on the podium tomorrow. But you do have to reflect on the consistency, the high level of consistency from bow number one, the 2024 champions, American Magic Quantum Racing. Minor hiccup in the previous race with their worst score of the regatta with the 7th, but bouncing back just now with the 3rd.
Andy, I'm at the finish line now, and this is just an amazing day for racing today. I remember these were always like one of my favorite days, where it's a bit crazy. You have to be so fast and adapting on your mode. Are you going for fast mode? Are you going for high mode? You have to tack when there's a shift. You have to sail into the pressure, head out of the boat all the time, observing what's going on. This is like so much fun, and I promise you the entire crew is so busy today.
Indeed, to say you kind of reflect on some of the racing we get in the Mediterranean. You know, when you're racing sea breezes, it's a one-sided track. Everybody knows exactly what's going to happen through the day to the minute, pretty much. And surely, although the overhead conditions, we're not quite seeing the warmth of the sun and the that we do in the Med, it's a fantastic racetrack. And Bayona really is delivering, and it is going to be Pravetsa, Ergun Imri's team from Turkey, getting their first win of the season. So they've gone 3-3-1 from the last 3 races, which is pretty good. But the top team of the day will be Alcedo Vitamina, with a first and a second. Ask anyone who knows the top level of 52 Super Series racing, and most people would tell you that they immediately considered that this would be a strong team and contenders, but probably not as early in the season, heading for a podium tomorrow. Platoon Aviation coming through in 4th. Vasco looking a little bit disappointed in their second race today, which was clearly better than an 8th in the first race. Sled through in 5th. So you must keep fighting to the end. As Teasing Machine come through for 6th, Paprec will get 7th. Jibing to protect the left-hand end of the line. Sailed to the most direct, shortest distance of the line for Paprec. And they get through now. Just, I think, ahead of Vayu and Allegre. Probably Phoenix going to steal in there, taking a place on this final run for 10th, and Alpha Plus ending up with an 11th, 5th and 11th today for the team from Hong Kong. Phoenix, I think, missing out on time on the boat, time on the water so far this season. They did a week of training, the best part of a week of training coming in here, because they didn't train in Valencia with the week that I think we had 6 teams training in Valencia in March, April time, and then they missed the first regatta of the season. So there we go, a pretty happy day for Alcedo Vitamina there, just to the front of the boat. Tidying up the lines is Pablo Torrado, who again is one of the local heroes here. He grew up sailing at a small club across the bay. And he really said, same as Victor Mourinho on board Platoon Aviation, Pablo really said he wanted to make a big impression and inspire some of the young local sailors to go on and move up to the highest level of Grand Prix sailing by delivering a great performance here. And so at the moment, Alcedo Vitamina look to be on course perhaps for a podium tomorrow. But Louise, credit to the Pravetsa team. going strongly with a 3-3 and a 1 today. Starting to show their true colours, aren't they, Louise?
Absolutely, Andy. That's how we know Team Provezza. And I'm so happy they found their speed back. They were really a little bit concerned about it with their new boat, but today they just seemed rocket spaceship fast, Andy.
They were. They capitalised on a good start. Got to the right side of the course early on. Led round the top mark from American Magic and Alcedo. And from there on, Provezza just really consolidated, stayed one step ahead of the fleet behind. They had one moment when we thought they were a little bit exposed on that second beak when the breeze was coming in from the right. Alcedo went over to the right, but when they crossed, Provezza still held the lead, which they got through to the finish line. But Louise, American Magic finishing the day, I think, with a 13 or 14 point lead. They really can afford to just be conservative tomorrow and manage the risks. But all the time, at the back of Terry Hutchison's mind and everyone else on board, American Magic is you can't be complacent, and you have to remember that the last seasons have gone down to a single point. So you've got to keep pushing.
Absolutely, and Andy, I think also today we saw that there are some boats who are already happy to start a little bit of battles with American Magic. Once you're so good and once you have such a big lead in front of the group, Platoon Aviation and Provezza were both not making life easy for American Magic today and trying to push that team.
Trying to push that team, but they're, in some respects, they're very, very well used to having a target on their backs. Big, strong team they are, and they thrive on that level of competition. And for sure, having Terry Hutchison back this season just cracks the whip more than ever. So there we go. After 8 races, American Magic Quantum Racing on 24 points. Therefore, they are 13 points ahead of Alcedo Vitamina, the Italian team, which went with a 1-2 today. Great stuff from them. In third, Platoon Aviation now on 42 points. You have to wonder whether they can close Alcedo Vitamina down tomorrow and get to second, but that's going to be one of the thrilling Saturday Showdown features. Otherwise, in Provezza are now up to fourth with 3-3 winners from the last 3 races. Paprec just 1 point behind, dropping from third step on the podium to fifth. Sled now in sixth on the same points as Paprec. Allegra 55, Vayu on 58, Phoenix 59, 61 for Teasing Machine, also 61 for Alpha Plus. So tomorrow the big finale, the showdown for the Royal Cup. Everything to play for all the way through the fleet. Can American Magic close out their first win at the Royal Cup since, I think it was 2022? Platoon Aviation have held it for the last 2 years. But do join us then. We'll have all the action live tomorrow on the last day of the Royal Cup here in Galicia. Louise, thank you so much for your hard work today. Join us again tomorrow for the big finale.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line 'em up.